Hey guys, it's Cassia. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is actually really long overdue. I'm going to be talking about why I quit my 9-to-5 marketing job 1 year later. So it's been a while since I've actually done my makeup and chatted with you guys on camera, so that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to put my hair up, get my makeup on, and just chat with you about, why I quit my job. I look like an egg. And chat with you about why I quit my job, what my job was, what I'm doing now, and just everything I learned from quitting my corporate job. So let's get started. So I guess I should say what my job was and why I am only addressing it now a year later. Wow, I'm glowy. I'm not gonna say the company, but I did actually vlog my very last week working for them, and I did say the company name in that video, but I just don't really want to mention them anymore on my channel, not because it's bad blood, but just because I don't want this to be about them, I guess. I did actually vlog my last week of working for them, and I also vlogged my first week of me going freelance and fully working for myself, which I guess if you've been subscribed to me for the past year, you already know that that's what I ended up doing. I just never really properly chatted about it. But basically what my job was is I was a graduate. I was part of their graduates program for 2020. It was still a full-time paying job. It means that I was actually able to go into multiple different departments, and I spent about 6 months in each department so I could get a really good feel of everything and just experience different departments and different roles in my company, which was pretty cool. So I was there for about a year, which means I did 2 rotations. My first one was in brand marketing, so I was part of the brand marketing team and then also the content team. A little bit of background, I did study marketing in university, and then I applied for this job, got it straight out of uni, which was amazing. But the thing is as well is the job was in Melbourne and I live in Perth. I lived in Perth, Australia my whole life. Never actually planned on leaving Perth as well, but I just love this company so much. I remember saying like, this is literally the only job I would have ever moved for, and that still stands to this day. Like, I do not think I would have moved for any other company. Basically, this was my dream job when I was growing up. It was the only office environment I ever wanted to work in. Basically where I worked was for a major beauty retailer here in Australia, and I worked 2 roles for them actually. I worked in their stores in retail. That's where I first started out and found out about the whole program, and that was in Perth. And then I got a job in their head office in the graduates program, so then I moved to Melbourne for that. So that was what my job was, and you may be wondering, you know, it was your dream job and you seem to love it, so why did you quit? Well, long story short, we all know what happened in 2020, and I had just moved across the country. It was my first move ever. Like, I literally moved straight out of home, straight into this corporate job across the country. I was so lucky, and my boyfriend moved with me, so I wasn't fully alone. But apart from that, we didn't really have that many friends or family in Melbourne. So fully moved across the country, my first ever move, and the pandemic happens. I think just over 1 month of like actually working in office before we ended up working from home. So I think that was the biggest thing, obviously, that made me want to quit and come back home. Because spoiler alert, I'm back home in Perth. You will know this if you've been subscribed to me for this past year. There are other reasons why I quit aside from the pandemic, but I think if the pandemic hadn't happened, I would have seen through my contract, because I had a 2-year contract as a graduate, but I quit after a year to come home. Like, I think it was super hard because the first team that I was with, I had met them before when we first started working together, because we were in the office. Whereas when I moved into my second team, I hadn't met any of them. I think I'd met some right before I started working with them. Like, I met my manager before, but Everyone else, like I literally met them virtually and was working with them virtually the whole time, and it was just so weird. And especially because this was my very first job straight out of uni. I hadn't done any like internships or anything like that. Like this was literally my very first professional office experience, and for it to be mostly from home, it was just so isolating. Just obviously not what I had expected from when I took this job. Apart from pandemic issues, there were some things about the job that just I didn't really sit well with. It just wasn't right for me, I guess. Like I think like I knew before I'd even applied for the job that corporate was never what I wanted. I literally never wanted to do a corporate job. Makes me sound stupid for even applying for it, but just hear me out. I literally always wanted to work for myself when I was a kid. I always was thinking of like new business ideas of like what I could do so that I could work from home. I'm such a big introvert. I literally just wanted to work from home. I didn't want to have a boss. I wanted to be my own boss. In 2017, I actually started my own business. It was a makeup brand called Cass Beauty. I did do a bunch of videos. It's my most popular video here on YouTube, is me starting my business. It was one of the best things I've ever done with my life. It was so much fun. It obviously didn't pan out because that is closed now. I don't have that business anymore. It was such a great experience. I started the business up, I think I was 18, I don't know, 17? No, I think I was 17 when I first started it. I was in my first year of uni. I've always wanted to just work for myself, and so I knew going into this that I actually didn't want a corporate job. But then also it was around the time of like my last semester of uni. I think a lot of people know when you go through your last semester of uni, you're just like freaking out about life, like just about everything. Freaking out at the time, and I decided to apply, just like not even expecting to get in, obviously, because it's such a competitive program, the one I applied for. No one from Perth had ever gone in at that point as well. Turns out I got it, obviously, which was just such an exciting thing. It was just so cool and rewarding to have gone into such a competitive program like that. I was the very first person from Perth that they had actually accepted. But yeah, so I got in, and then it was at a point where I was working in retail. I just finished uni, and I was like, okay, realistically, what am I gonna do with life? I don't have any plans, and I've just gone into this amazing program. Like, I'm kind of gonna be stupid if I don't take it. Such an amazing opportunity. And again, yeah, like I said, it was my dream corporate job. Like, I think even growing up, like from when I was like 15, I said like, if I need to get a corporate job, I want to do marketing for a beauty brand, and especially that beauty brand. So I was just like, you know what, I've gotten in, I might as well just see it through and see what happens. I don't have any other plans in my life. I don't have any idea of what else I'm gonna do if I don't take this. I was also like I'd written off corporate in my mind, but I was also like, I should give it a chance before probably writing it off. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just write it off and not even try. So that was why I took the job. But yeah, deep down, I always knew that I didn't even really want to work in corporate. I had my chance to get a taste for it and try it out, and it wasn't really what I wanted, I guess. Other reasons why I didn't want to stay was just the corporate environment. I feel like, and I've heard a lot of other people say this on YouTube who do corporate just like really becomes part of your identity, and I found that to be so true. I feel like just like that was just what I was branded with, was just like a corporate girl, a corporate worker. And like, I think when it was time for me to quit, it freaked me out more, because I was like, this is my identity now. Like, what do I do after this? Like, what is my identity without my corporate job? And I just like didn't feel like that was right. Like, I didn't feel like my job should have been everything to me. I guess the perks of working in an office, obviously, of like seeing people and just like having that good environment, having the office perks, like they're notorious for like throwing really great office parties, and I didn't get to experience any of them really because we were in lockdown. It just grew really hard to be really fully all in the job, and I felt a lot of pressure to always be like, it just had to be my top priority over everything, like absolutely everything. It had to be my top priority. Doesn't even matter what else I had going on in my life. Like, it had to be my top priority. I think like everyone was so hardworking that even if I like, my contract technically was like, it was 8 hours a day, 9 to 5 job. If I actually stopped working at 5 o'clock, I would feel like such a slacker. Like, everyone would be working till like minimum like 7 p.m. Sometimes I'd get emails at like 9, 10 p.m. And that would just make me feel like such a slacker. If I was actually done with my work at 5, I felt like I had to keep going at least until 6, 7. And that wasn't in my contract. It wasn't actually what I was made, like no one actually told me to do that. That's just the kind of environment I was in. Like, everyone just, all they wanted to do was work, and they loved work, which is great for them, maybe. I just really value work-life balance. I've always been very, very like, you need a good work-life balance. You actually have to live life. And so I've never wanted to, like, not that I never want to work hard, but like, that's the thing, is they made me feel like if I wasn't working past 5 p.m, I wasn't working hard enough. I wasn't like doing a proper job. And that's just not the environment I wanted. Like, it was just such a bad environment for me to be in, because I just so value just having a good work-life balance and actually being able to clock off at 5, 6 p.m. and go and live your life. But the thing is also, when we were in office, I kind of hated the work routine. I hated the getting up every morning, doing the exact same thing every day, coming back at night, not having much free time, going to bed and doing the exact same thing the next day. And then on weekends, I was just too exhausted to do anything. I think because of that, I think because I knew that I didn't want a corporate job, there wasn't anywhere I wanted to work up to, if that makes sense. Like, I was a graduate, so I was starting pretty much at like the lowest point that you could start at, and I didn't find any role anywhere where I wanted to work my way up. There was no position I wanted to work up to. I feel like if there's like no, I guess, like future that you can see in your job, in your company, and you don't want to stay in your job, then there's not really much point, obviously, staying. There was also issues with my social media, which was weird to me, because when I was working in store, there weren't any issues with it. And also, I never really like said the brand name that much on my socials. Like, if you went to my socials, you would really have to look quite hard to actually figure out where I was working. I didn't really like put it out that obviously that I worked there. Would never like be vlogging or doing anything like that in my office hours. So I don't know, it was weird to me. And also in my resume, when I was in the interviews, everything, I was always talking about my socials. So it was very open about it. They knew all about it. Them having an issue with it just was kind of weird to me, because I was like, you like never said anything about it to me in the beginning, and you're saying it to me now. But anyway, I tried to be so respectful with it. But I think it got to the point where I did actually get my very first brand deal, which is something that I've been working towards pretty much my whole like life on social media. That's like all I wanted. And I'd been doing social media for like, I don't know, I'm gonna guess 5+ years at that point. And I finally got my first brand deal, which was amazing. But because of my contracts at work, I had to turn it down, which was just it was just such a heartbreaking email to write, to be like, I'm sorry, like, I appreciate you wanting to work with me, but I actually have to turn you down right now. It's a conflict with my work. It was so heartbreaking. It just felt like it wasn't fair that this one thing in my life was stopping me from achieving other dreams in my life. I think that was maybe one of the like final straws that made me be like, is this worth it? Like, is this job worth me moving across the country, leaving all of my friends and family, and also turning down brand deals and have to be super cautious on my social media? Is it all worth it? And the answer was no. Social media has always been what I want to do with my job. I literally started this YouTube channel in 2013 with the hopes that it would become my full-time job. And as well with Instagram, TikTok now, I have always wanted it to be my full-time job. And I had finally started making a move, got my first brand deal in it, and having to like turn that down, I was like so heartbroken, and I just decided it wasn't really worth it. And yeah, there was nowhere I wanted to work up to, so like what was even the point of me staying at that point? So yeah, that's pretty much the long answer of why I quit my 9-to-5 job. With all that said though, I have absolutely no bad things to say about this job. I would absolutely work there again. If for some reason I ever like my brain just switched and I ever just wanted to work corporate, I would absolutely like, and ever wanted to move back to Melbourne as well, I would absolutely go and apply again. Like I would absolutely want to work there again. It is such an amazing place. I still recommend anyone to go work there. It's such a lovely place. I have absolutely nothing bad to say about it. I love everything they do. I'm still a loyal customer to them. I absolutely have nothing bad to say about it. I'm so proud that I worked there. I have no regrets whatsoever. If I was to ever work in a corporate environment, I'm so happy it was that one. And yeah, to this date, I feel like it's just one of my greatest achievements is getting accepted and into that job and moving across the country, even though 2020 was absolutely the worst year of my life. I guess we can move into what I learned from the job and also from quitting the job. Basically, there were so many videos that I watched of people who were thinking of quitting their job, you know, saying things like, you know, before you quit your job, you should have 6 months worth of savings and all these things like that. And, you know, you should have another job lined up and, you know, all these things. And it was just so hard for me because obviously 2020 was not a regular year. It was such a weird year for everyone. And so I think those things just like didn't really apply to me. I didn't have another job I was going to. All I knew was that I wanted to move home. I wanted to be back in Perth and I wanted to be able to do my content creation, my social media work. I didn't have another job lined up. I literally moved back in with my mom and it was not the best situation. You don't always have to have something better planned. You don't always have to have an idea planned. Obviously, make sure you're okay and you're able to live and like make sure you can go to somewhere safe and, you know, you're not going to put yourself in danger. But you don't always have to have something better lined up for you, because I think the thought of that just made me not quit for so long. Like I was so unhappy in the job for like months and months and I just didn't quit because I mean I wanted to see it through. I think I did feel like kind of a failure if I quit so soon. So I did want to see it through for as long as I could, and I didn't quit until like the very last moment where I was like, I absolutely cannot take this anymore. Like I really stayed in the job for as long as I could, give them everything. Even if you were able to find a job that wasn't like a career, like a position above what you are now, like even if you were able to get something that was the same level or even lower, just so you can get out of the job and into a new environment, and then from there you can work your way up. I feel like it's such a great way to go, because I feel like people will just wait for things to be better before they jump ship. You might have to go into something else to then work your way up and you'll end up in a better situation, but you might not always straight away go into a better situation, if that makes sense. I think another thing I learned, another thing that was like really worrying me about quitting my job is just what people think. Unfortunately, that does affect me, what people think. I think especially like not even like my friends and family, like what they would think of me quitting. It was more so like what people would think of like what I'm doing afterwards. I didn't want people to just think like, oh, she just quit, now she's just like doing nothing. Like I think it was, yeah, it was the fear of people seeing what I was doing afterwards wasn't better than what I was doing, if that makes sense. Honestly, no one had like anything bad to say. Everyone was so supportive. Everyone was so supportive of me quitting, except for my parents. But yeah, no one had anything bad to say. I think everyone just like trusted me that this was the right decision, and they trusted that I would be okay and in whatever I did afterwards, and that no matter what I did afterwards, I would just, if I was happy, then that's all that mattered. Even everyone in my workplace was so lovely. It was just so understanding. I think because it had been such a hard year and they just knew that, you know, I needed to be home and that was the best place for me. So everyone was so supportive. Even my like co-workers, my manager was like, you know, if you ever need anything, if you ever need like a reference or anything, you can put down our number. And I was like, that's just so lovely. So yeah, everyone was so lovely and so supportive. So I literally didn't even need to worry about that. I think whilst you're in the mindset of wanting to quit your job, you're obviously unhappy in your job, you're obviously wanting something better, and so I think you're you know, you're obviously hoping that you're gonna get something better, and hopefully you do. It wasn't such an easy, like, you know, you're gonna quit your job and then you're gonna be happy. Like, it wasn't exactly like that. I just, like, I think it's good to not expect that, like, quitting a job is gonna be like this magic button that just, like, makes everything better just from quitting. It takes time to then, like, it's a huge transition in life, so it takes time to then get used to that and be okay with that. I think the reason why I didn't talk about it a lot at the time was because it was just such a big time of uncertainty for me, and I just think I didn't really want that on camera. I wasn't ready to be that vulnerable just yet on my YouTube channel. Quitting the job obviously made me feel horrible because I felt like I was a failure. I also had to move back home, which was just so problematic because I've never really talked about this as well. You're getting all the secrets in today's video. I don't really have a good relationship with my parents at all. So moving back home was just such an awful time, and it was something that I never really wanted to do again. I then also was trying to buy an apartment when I was also about to quit my job. No one talked me out of that one. But I mean, we did it. We bought the apartment. Here we are in the apartment, and it's all worked out. I've been able to pay my mortgage for the past, oh my god, year. It's been exactly a year since I quit my job, as well as a year since I bought this apartment. So that's pretty cool. But it was just an incredibly stressful time. Like, I just wasn't in the right mindset to talk about it at that time. Here we are, a year later. I'm ready to talk, and it has a happy ending. I guess we can talk about now where I am, what I'm doing. I think obviously if you've been subscribed to my channel for a bit, then you know what I've been doing. But if this is your first time here, hi, I'm Cass, and I am loving my life right now. I still have a lot of growing to do, a lot more that I want to achieve, but I'm at a good place right now, and I'm so happy about that, because in 2020 and in a lot of 2021 as well, I was just in such a bad mindset. But basically what I'm doing now is I have my business called Lucky Cat Social, where I do social media management, social media marketing for brands and businesses. That was what I was building up most of last year. I then also do video editing and content creation for brands and also creators. I'm looking to do more like YouTube video editing for YouTubers because that's just my favorite thing to do. I love video editing. And then also I do social media. Obviously I do this thing called YouTube, hi, that you're watching right now. I've been doing YouTube for quite a few years now, but I'm really currently right now trying to actually make it my full-time job. I love YouTube so much, so that has been my goal for a little while now. So I do YouTube, I do Instagram, I do TikTok, just basically the whole social media thing. I do it all. Yeah, basically my whole job is around social media, and I work fully for myself, fully from home. I've got amazing clients. Last year I got to work with so many amazing brands, which I was so blown away by. As soon as I did quit my job and like the contract had ended and I was fully like not working there anymore, I emailed those brands back that did want to do a collab with me and was like, hey, my contract is now done, do you want to do the collab now? And they said yes. So I was still able to do the brand collabs with them, which was amazing. And since then I've just worked with so many amazing brands. Like, I was going through all of the brands that I worked with last year, and I was just so blown away. Like, I just hadn't even like reflected. I hadn't taken the time to reflect last year. I was just like so like hustle, go, 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 like do so much work to like try and match my corporate salary, which I have matched my corporate salary now with my businesses. I'm making a little bit more than what I made in my corporate job, which is incredible. Like, I feel so lucky to be in this situation. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That was a lot of rambling. I am so sorry. I had a lot to say, obviously. It's been a year since all of this happened, and I don't know why I'm trying to talk into a lip liner. One sec. Kind of happy I did wait this long to talk about this, because I don't know, obviously I can give you advice, whereas like if I did it when I first quit, I would not have been able to give anyone advice, because I was just in such a weird place. Myself did not know what was happening at all. So yeah, I'm happy I did wait. I hope I was able to be helpful to anyone else that's in this situation. I would just say, if you are in a situation, do not rush your decision at all. This is not something that needs to be rushed. But also, if you're really unhappy, this isn't something that needs to be a big deal unless you make it a big deal, if that makes sense. Everything is only as big of a deal as you make it. Obviously make sure you're safe and that you can provide for yourself. And you know, I was lucky that I didn't have kids or anyone else depending on me. I had my boyfriend with me, so I wasn't alone. He also moved back with me obviously, and we live here together, and he was so supportive throughout everything, so I literally could not have like done any of it without him. So my makeup done, that is my ranting done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new here, I usually do more fun videos like this. I do vlogs about my life working for myself, so if you guys are interested in the entrepreneurial life, definitely follow me, subscribe to me. My channel is all about inspiring women in their 20s to just live the life that they want to live, be happy in the life they want to live, and find happiness in the small things. If you agree with all of that, then I definitely would love to welcome you to our family. Subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you guys are interested. I post a lot more content on there. It would mean the world to me if you could support me, subscribe to me here, because like I said, it is my dream to have YouTube be my full-time job. So please support me, it would mean the world. If you guys have quit your job as well, leave your best advice in the comments down below, so that if anyone who is going through this is reading the comments, they can just see what your best advice is, and it would be really helpful to them. Yeah, that's gonna be it. I've talked for way too long. Thank you so much if you've stuck through to the end. It means so much to me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.